Hi, Rob Walker here. This video is meant to be a video response to Samwise 7 RPG, also known as Tim, and his video, the RPG Ramble Fest. And I'm making a response to it because I found it so damn fascinating. It seems like Tim really wants to be a better GM. This is something he thinks about quite often, and the balance that goes along with, how much do you give to the players and how much do you take for yourself as a game master. And this is something that, in my own experience, I struggle with myself. First, I kind of wanted to give a little bit of an introduction. I am a super late bloomer when it comes to role-playing games. I came into it in my mid to late 20s. And I didn't know really where to start, so I went to YouTube, and there I found Tim and the Gentleman Gamer and Tetsubo and the main man, Andrew Wood. And through these YouTube personalities, I started finding out what games were good and what games I might like. And I started corresponding with the Gentleman Gamer and Tim especially. So far, I have been a GM more often than I've played. And what I find is that a lot of how I game relates to my experience in theater. I grew up doing theater, I have a degree in theater, and though I don't do live theater anymore, I still like to play, which is partially what attracted me to role-playing in the first place. I'm guessing, is that I think all GMs are frustrated writers or frustrated directors. You have this story that you want to tell, and you have these characters, and sometimes you have these intricate plot details that you want to lay out and let other people enjoy too. But the problem with that is that when you're doing it for theater, it's for an audience, not for the actors necessarily. When you're playing a game, you don't want to puppeteer how your players are playing. So this is something I'm always trying to be conscious of, is that I want to build a world that's fun and beautiful and has a lot of intrigue and is really engaging for the players, but I want the players to give things back to me as well. I want them to throw out ideas. I want them to see things in the stuff that I've built or in the cracks of the stuff that I've built that I can then use to make better scenarios, make better choices. Maybe there's a plot twist that I missed. And the problem with this is that it's incredibly difficult to do. You lay out your idea, your storyline of how you think it should be, and you kind of want your characters to go A to B to C. And they don't always want to go that way. I had a friend tell me a story about his D&D game, and it began in a tavern, as so many of them do, and the adventurers killed the barkeep in an altercation early in the game. And rather than escape the police or go on to the big adventure that the GM had planned, they opted to stay and run the bar as an organized crime family, which I'm guessing threw the GM for an absolute loop. But to me, that is incredibly fascinating that the players then hijacked the game and they all had a blast. They ran a campaign that was basically them running the town from this bar. And I think that is more intriguing than just going on a dungeon crawl. But part of the issue with all of this is that it depends on your players, right? When I first started role-playing, I was really worried about getting into an already established group, because there are, as with anything, there are cliques and there are ways that people like to do things, and I kind of wanted to just discover things for myself. I was also worried about really rules-heavy games. Coming at it as a form of theater myself, I kind of wanted to just have things be loosey-goosey and to just be able to tell stories or be a part of somebody else's story and contribute in that way. Once again, to go back to the theater analogy, I wanted a group of actors, I wanted a theater troupe of performers that I could trust, because theater is all about trust. What you want from your players is a give and take, obviously. And this is something Tim talks about a lot. This is something that the Gentleman Gamer has discussed, particularly with regard to Vampire the Masquerade, which I have never played. I am really fascinated with, though. Seems like it might be a bit advanced for me at this point, but we'll see. I'd love to play sometime. Anyway, so So yeah, you want give and take, you want trust between the game master and the players. And sometimes when you're playing with people you don't know, you don't always have that. Sometimes you run across a power gamer, a guy who just wants to hoard stuff or wants to bulk up his character as much as possible. Sometimes you come up with a rules lawyer, the guy who loves the really crunchy systems. You have the Herculean task of trying to meld all of these different kinds of people into a game that everyone can enjoy. Because when you get right down to it, it is still a game. It is meant to be enjoyed, or at least engaging, right? All of this to say, I find myself going back to my theater training when I have a very intricate story plotted out and a player throws something at me that I wasn't expecting. In improv, they have a mechanic called yes and. So if you're on stage with another person and you're both improvising a scene, you never say no because that immediately shuts things down. So instead you say yes, you take what they offer you, and you say, and this happens. And that doesn't always work because sometimes your player wants to play a different kind of game than the game you're currently playing. But more often than not, just by taking their suggestions, it leads to a better game. And also, I couldn't agree more with Tim's idea of asking for feedback afterwards. That's something I was always careful to do. What did you guys like? What didn't you like? You know, here's what I thought. I kind of thought this dragged a little bit here, and that I feel like that makes me a better game master. And also getting ideas from them. And also, I've been really eager to have these same people be game masters for me because I'd really like to watch it from the other side. So anyway, I just wanted to throw in my 2 cents, tell Tim he's doing a brilliant job. I really enjoy his videos. Same with The Gentleman Gamer and Ander Wood and Tetsubo. I always like the RPG ponderings. So yeah, that's my 2 cents from a relatively nouveau gamer. Once again, Tim, keep up the good work. I can't wait to see what the next video is all about. Take care. Bye.